What's going on, everybody? This is Jack with the Trading Tribe, and today we are back at it with another pretty cool video on just another look under the hood, if you will, with some of the Thinkorswim tools out there for traders. And I hope there's a lot of value today. This is something that's kind of a nuanced piece of Thinkorswim that doesn't really get covered much, but I think there are some really cool things we can do with it. So if you do, feel free to like and subscribe to the video and the channel. That would really be appreciated from my side, just to make sure this is adding value on your side. And we have a ton of content coming in 2023, so this is the first of many. But we can get into it today. Today I wanted to cover how to add custom indicators or studies in Thinkorswim, and then just a little bit of a look under the hood on how that works and just the different things you can actually do on this Thinkorswim platform. And if you ever notice on my charts, kind of up here at the top left, I have this little magenta bar, if you will, that has, a couple things that indicate different kind of features of the futures contract that I'm trading. So in this case today, I'm looking at natural gas, and I have this magenta bar that tells me the tick size of gas, the tick value of gas, and then per handle, if you will, how much you can actually make from gas with one contract. And this is actually really valuable, especially in the futures market, because when you are jumping from futures contract to contract or instrument to instrument, this actually changes, right? So if we're trading the ES or if we're trading crude oil, the tick size and the tick value per kind of futures instrument is different. So even with the micro contracts out there, it's different. And this is something that can be kind of annoying. In the broker, you can actually check this. So if we do the little drop down by our ticker and we go to the futures pane, we actually can get all of this information, but we'd have to kind of do the math for the value of a handle, and we'd have to look at this every time we switch contract to contract. And obviously, right, that's not something that we want to keep manual. And Thinkorswim actually allows you to automate this, right? So if we were to switch to crude oil or switch to any other future out there, this would all automatically update because of what they call TypeScript. So if we go into our studies, today we'll kind of look at how I actually built this. And I am a software engineer by trade, so this will get a little bit technical, but I'll have the code down below for at least this, TypeScript. And then if you want, you can just copy that, or you can kind of dig into this deeper, because I'll also have the link to the actual documentation that TD Ameritrade provides. But in this case, right, what we're doing is we're actually creating a study. So that's what this is. Anything kind of added onto your chart in Thinkorswim, at least, is considered a study. So I've already done this. I'm going to go to edit studies on my side. And then if you were new here, right, you'd actually click create to create the study. I already have the study, and I called it tick visibility. So if I just search for tick, I actually have that custom study right here. So when you click create, right, you can name it whatever you want. What I've called kind of this label, if you will, is tick visibility. So that's all that is. And you'll notice, right, tick visibility is also brought onto my chart. So I've also double clicked it and added it to my actual chart. In this case, right, if we wanted to look at the code underneath to actually create this, right, we can right click on tick visibility, and there's a bunch of cool stuff we can do from here. So here's how you can export it or share it with friends. We can obviously get rid of it, rename it. In this case today, I want to show you how I've actually done this. So if we go to edit here, we can take a look at kind of the makeup of this label. And it looks a little bit more intense than it is. Really, everything's keyword based, and TD Ameritrade's provided everything. So all I've really done here is created a really simple label. So that's the very first part of the code. And they call it ThinkScript. That's kind of the language, if you will, for Thinkorswim. But it's a lot more intimidating sounding than it really is. Because at the end of the day, right, we've wanted to add a label with some information in that label. So from a code standpoint, super simple, right? We're using a function to create that label. And then in my case here, right, I wanted certain things in the label, right? So the very first thing I wanted was the caption for tick size, and that's what this parentheses tick size is. And then I want to add after that, right? I want to add the tick size for gas. And it actually has a function for that in Thinkorswim. So tick size with the colons, right, and the parentheses, that's actually how you do that in TypeScript. In ThinkScript, it has a bunch of functions available. So over here on the right, we can actually check all of the different functions and types and operators. And there's a lot here. So definitely check out the reference guide for just what's possible here. But in this case, all I'm really doing is saying go and figure out the tick size for the contract I'm on and put that as a price right next to the text. So that's kind of this first third, if you will, of the label. And then after that, right, I want another kind of section of the label called tick value. Similarly, they have a tick value function, and that's all this is saying. Go to that future, figure out the tick value, and put that as dollars, right? Because every time we get into a futures contract, every tick has a certain value of dollars, right? So this is essentially just automating that and putting that on our chart. And then lastly, right, I wanted per handle what you can make with gas. And in gas's case, right, every 10 ticks is what they call a handle. In ES, every 4 ticks is a handle. So this also differs per contract. But in my case here today, right, a 10 tick move in natural gas is what we like to call a handle in the futures market. And essentially there is a function to do that as well. And then the very last piece is I actually customized the color. So you can actually control what the color looks like. I just put magenta for today's example so that it sticks out. As long as it's not black, obviously it's going to look pretty good. And then in this case, I've placed it at the top left just so it's not in the way of anything. We obviously don't want these to be distracting. But I thought showing this today and showing what you can actually do with ThinkScript would be super valuable. This is obviously a super simple example. In our group, right, we talk about other things that we can automate here. We can have automated signals built out with ThinkScript. We can have other types of labels and such created with ThinkScript, and then we can also create actual indicators as well. So tons of value with what you can actually do here. And hopefully this is just a really cool use case of just automating at least some piece of that trading day to day that you're doing so that this part does not have to be manual. And then once this is built in, you can essentially just click OK or apply to actually save this. And then, like I said, right, if this was not in our studies, you would just double click it to add it to your studies and then click apply. And just like that, you would have this custom indicator, if you will, written in the language of ThinkScript added to your charts. So hopefully this added a ton of value. Wanted to kind of show a sneak peek of what you can actually do from a custom standpoint in here. And this is just kind of scratching the surface. So hopefully there was a lot of value here, guys, and we will talk next time. Thank you.